Throughout the history of mankind, mathematics has been at the heart of the evolution of science and technology in all fields. From the temples of antiquity to the quantum computer, mathematics has been omnipresent since time immemorial. But behind these discoveries and advances, there are mathematicians. Indeed, the history of the discipline has been marked by the work of illustrious scientists far too numerous to mention. Are you ready to discover how three mathematicians, Isaac Newton, Alkhwarismi and Descartes, came together to create an epic of genius? In this video, I will tell you the incredible story of their achievements and contributions to the advancement of mathematics. Isaac Newton was born in 1642 in the English countryside from a modest family and moreover, will follow a rather mediocre schooling. Because little manual and will be nevertheless authorized to continue theoretical studies at the University of Cambridge, what was rather a good decision. When one knows that, Newton is regarded today considered by many as the greatest scientist of all time, and yes, that alone, Newton is mainly known as a physicist with his three laws of mechanics, which would have been inspired by the fall of an apple on his head. But he was also a great mathematician. The extent of Newton's work is too vast to be summarized in a single video, but its main contribution were in mathematics, the formalization of the Pascal's triangle, and the generalization of the sum of two numbers to a given power, which will become Newton's binomial. The scientist will also bring a revolution in the calculation by inventing the infinite decimal calculation, which will introduce the notion of population and of finite increase in the form of function, omnipresent in modern science. This discovery was made simultaneously by Newton and by a German, Leibniz, what will create a rivalry between. At their time, Newton was globally very active in the field of calculation, but also in physics, since he was at the base of revolutionary discoveries such as the law of universal gravitation or the decomposition of white light using a prism. Alkhwarismi. Abu Jafar, Muhammad ibn Mausa, Alkhwarismi. Born in Khiva in 780, this perceptive mathematician, native of the current Uzbekistan, having lived between the 8th and the 9th century of our era, is considered as the founder of algebra. Alkhwarismi lived all his life under the domination of the Abbasid Empire and was a student of its Caliph al-Ma'mun. He studied and taught in the House of Wisdom, Beit al-Hikmah in Baghdad. Or his predilection were obviously mathematics, but also astronomy, geography and philosophy. The work of Alkhwarismi is doubly important in the history of mathematics. He first of all participated in the translation and correction and popularization of scientific writings from India and the Greek, which allowed us to have precise traces of the works of these predecessors. This immense work makes him the main one among us between the science of the antiquity and that of the Middle Ages in the second time. Alkhwarismi himself carried out his own works, which turned out to be revolutionary. He was indeed the first to introduce the notion of unknown in equations allowing to generalize problems and offering to mathematics in formalism that they still have today. His work, named Kitab al-Jabr, exposing his principles, was later translated all over the world, and the word algebra before the name of a complete branch of mathematics, Alkhwarismi. Mathematics is also illustrated in the establishment of the decimal system imported from India and the creation of a complete table of the values of sine and tangent for astronomy. René Descartes, born March 31, 1596 in La Haye in Touraine, one of the greatest French mathematicians from a wealthy family. Descartes was able to follow prestigious studies and work in all Europe of the 16th century, being in constant collaboration with all the great scholars of his time. During his life, Descartes made important contributions in several fields. In mathematics, he brings new methods of construction of geometrical figures with the rule and the compass, but in place the notion of power of number, and proposes rigorous demonstrations of several theorems, posing a problem at the time and especially introducing a new mathematical formalism based on the letters we know today, such as X, Y, and Z, designating unknowns, which allowed to give a better readability to mathematics. Finally, Descartes brought a new vision of geometry by describing a point in a plane, with a system of coordinates which is the basis of analytical geometry. That is to say, the geometry describing objects with the help of equations, and not only to trace and measure with the rule and with other instruments. In sciences it is illustrated in particular in optics, with the famous law of Decartes, the ion of angles, of the incident luminous ray to the index of refraction of the medium, by which it, and in philosophy with its famous speech of the method which introduces criticizes the Cartesian spirit and the famous sentence, I think therefore I am. This is the end of the video. And sorry for the large number of important mathematicians I could not mention. I could make another episode, if you are interested, and why not, with female figures. Until then, I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for having watched this video until the end.